Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. If you're looking for jewelry that makes an impact on your self-care routine and your style, Empowerography would love to offer you a discount code to one of our exclusive partners, Quartz & Canary Jewelry and Wellness Company. Please use code EMPOWER15 to receive 15% off upon checkout at www.quartzandcanary.com. Quartz & Canary is truly the place where spirituality meets style. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest is Tollisha Joseph. She is the owner and founder of The Official Glue, based in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. How are you doing today, Tollisha?
I am doing well on this Thursday morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. It is an absolute honor to be here.
Honestly, Tollisha, the honor is all mine. Thank you for taking the time to be here and share a bit about your story. And now that you're becoming part of the Empowerography community by sharing your story, I appreciate that and thank you for that as well.
Ooh, I'm so excited. I'm a part of the tribe.
You are a part of the tribe now. You are forever etched in the Empowerography community, the Empowerography tribe. You are now a permanent member. I've inducted you.
Wow. I'm so, I feel like I just won an Emmy, maybe an Oscar, or something really important about to happen here. I'm telling you guys.
I love it. I love your enthusiasm. That's awesome. Tollisha, let's jump right in. So you are, as I mentioned, you're the owner and founder of The Official Glue. You're a public speaker, the host of Small Talk, and also a network strategist. You have a hell of a lot on your plate. How do you find the time to squeeze all this stuff in?
I literally live my life. I wake up in the morning and I say to myself, I am an obedient servant and I obey my calendar. That is what I do.
You're ruled by the calendar.
Yeah, it has to be that way because I'm a talker. I mean, if anybody schedules a call with me, like it says, I'm a chatty girl because I love to talk, but I do understand that I need boundaries. And early on in my business, I had none. And I needed to figure out a way to kind of create space for the things that I want to do. So my calendar loves me and I love it back.
It's a mutual love.
It is.
I love that.
Sometimes we fight, but for the most part, we're good. Me and the calendar.
That's good. That's good. You don't want to be fighting too much.
No, not too much.
Now, I read that all of these ideas, businesses, and things that you are now currently doing were created or born out of some of your own personal journey and struggle. Is that correct?
Oh, yes. I believe that pain pushes purpose, guys. So
I like that. That's great.
Yeah, if you have a little bit of pain, it's because there's something magical about to happen. So nobody knows that when it's painful and it hurts, but the other side of pain is purpose. So yes, I mean, a lot of what I'm doing right now started from pain.
Can you talk to us a bit about your personal journey and struggles? Would you mind?
No, of course. I mean, I feel like this is why we share our stories, because there's somebody out there who's either feeling the same way or pushing through, right? So, right. My business started probably about 3 years ago. I started really taking my business seriously and saying, I want to have a business. When that happened, I was working at a restaurant and I was a server. So let's backtrack just a bit. Okay. I was working as an arbitrator and then I got pregnant. So I had to quit my job. My boss at the time was such an amazing woman and she fired me so I could collect unemployment.
Wow.
I shouldn't say that loud on live, but I won't say her name so she won't get in trouble. But yes, she did that for me. So I was able to collect unemployment so I can continue to manage my family with that gap because I couldn't work. Like the baby was just heavy and I could barely walk. So I did that, and then I wound up staying home with him for 2 years because my husband got a really good job and we were okay. So I stayed home with my son for the first 2 years of his life. And then after that, I decided I don't want to go back to a 9 to 5 job because I want to be a mom. And I decided I'm going to start working at a restaurant because it would allow me to have the flexibility that I need. I can work around my kids' schedule.
Right.
So I started to do that. And I chose that job. Like, I wanted to do it because I'm like, man, we have parties all the time in my house, and and I could serve people. I do it every freaking day. So this is just something that I do, and I can make some money doing it. And it really, I mean, I think I made more money serving than I did arbitrating, literally. And I had more time, which was great. But then a couple years in, my mom, she passed away. She got sick, and she was in the hospital on Valentine's Day. She got sick, and then she was in the hospital up until like Mother's Day.
Oh,
and
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay, because this is the beauty, right? So
Right.
He got sick, and I realized, okay, well, my dad is going through this hard time. It's a hard time for my family. I'm going to have to cut back some of my time at work. But if you cut back your time, you cut back your money.
Yes.
And so when I decided, my dad really wasn't recuperating well. So I also decided to keep my schedule down to 2 days a week to help him kind of recuperate and learn this new way of life that he's going to live without his wife. But my boss wasn't really excited about that decision. And, they didn't fire me, but they started to like cut back my hours more than just the 2 hours and give me like the crappiest shifts known to man. So frustration was deep, and I was just totally frustrated with this job, and I didn't want to do it anymore. So one day I came to work, and like everything was just hitting me at once. It was like corporation day. The whole corporate team is at work this morning, and I get hit with all of the problems that are going on in this place. And I'm like, you know what? I'm so overwhelmed. I'm not a quitter. I am the type of person who is loyal. I want to do the job. I want to do it the best of my ability. I don't want to let any of my customers down, like all of that guilt that you feel when you are at these jobs that don't serve you.
Yeah.
You start to feel guilty, and the guilt took over, and I had a full-blown panic attack at work.
Uh-oh.
So I called my dad, and I mean, I couldn't even talk. Like, it was just so bad. And if I looked somebody in the eyes, I would start bawling. Like, that's how bad it was. And
no.
I remember that I just wanted to go home for the day and kind of just recuperate, because I just couldn't take the pressure.
Yeah.
And the guy who was working there that morning told me, yeah, we don't have anybody else to fill your position. And if you leave, you got to come back with a doctor's note. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to the hospital and paying all this money to tell me something that I know is happening.
Exactly.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. But if that's your answer and you can see me literally breaking, then you don't care about me. Yep. I got to leave. So I quit.
Wow.
Yeah. And I decided that day I wanted to start a business, but I didn't really know what it was. So I did what most people do in their business journey. I didn't have the confidence to go all in. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go back. Maybe it was the place. So I started another job, and I realized it was still frustrating me. And then I quit that job, and I started another job, and I realized like the feeling never left.
Right.
I continued to feel frustrated, and I couldn't understand why. And then at my very last job, I was working, the customers brought me so much joy, and it was so good, and the conversation was always great. And this will lead us into how I got my business name, because at the last stint of my work, my customers would always come in and be like, "Ooh, girl, you the glue. You glue everything together. You make everything just stick. Everything always works out when you're here. You should call yourself the glue."
I love it.
And I was like, what? That doesn't make sense, right? And I'm like, okay, it's cute. So I guess I'll listen to it. And they'd come in and they'd be like, "Okay, glue girl, okay." They just do that. So I remember my last day at that job, I started to have that panicked feeling again, like literally the anxiety and the stress and the pressure was just so high. And I said, I'm not going to kill myself to work like that.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's right. And then going back to my mom's journey, like looking back at her life, she was only 54 when she passed.
Wow, that's young.
Right? Was she 50? Yeah, 54, I believe. She was young and she had so much life to live. And I was reflecting and I was saying, I'm not going out like that, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not going out like that. This job is not going to take me under. I'm going to bet on myself and I'm going to do what I need to do. And I'm just going to take the risk because honestly, the risk is better than this.
For sure. Well, I mean, these companies, they don't give a shit about you. They obviously prove that to you time and again. So why would you give your all and your heart and soul and basically everything for what? For them to they cast you aside just as quick as they hired you.
Yeah. Yeah. It was good. Like the what I learned in the restaurant business, what I needed to go through that, honestly. And this is why I say that the pain births your purpose. It's because I had to be in that situation. I learned so much about running a business and how to be thick-skinned and not let people get to you. Because in the server industry, it's a dog-eat-dog world. Everybody's there to make the same dollar. And I mean, it's a very competitive industry. We all are out to get the same thing. And honestly, we want more people at our tables. We want bigger tips. We want everything that business owners want, right? We want more customers, more money, more. We want everything that we want, but the one difference is we're not willing to do what it takes to get it.
Yeah.
So for me, I was willing to do what it takes to get it. And that part was solid and very stationary. But the other side of it was I wasn't feeling appreciated and I wasn't feeling, I was feeling taken advantage of.
Right.
When I asked for elevation in status, like I wanted to move up in the company. Like I don't want to be a server for my whole life. It's a temporary situation. It wasn't a permanent placement.
Yeah.
So, and I knew that going in, but when it became all of these excuses about why you can't elevate, but what happened there was I was working and people would ask me, are you the manager? Are you
because you're the glue.
Yeah. Like people would come to me and ask me, are you the manager? Oh, I just thought you were the manager. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not the manager. I don't make any decisions here. I'm like,
I act like one though. I do everything like a manager, but I'm not the manager.
Yeah. So if those things I really, really paid attention to, like, if people are coming here and one thing I always had people calling ahead at I worked at Applebee's, guys. This was not no fancy restaurant, but people were calling ahead and saying, hey, is Tollisha there? Is she working today?
Wow.
And people would sit at my table and they would just have the best experience. I remember one of my customers did a Yelp review and they're like, you want to do Yelp? I'm like, sure, I'll do Yelp. So we did a Yelp thing. And, and then they would just if people are coming to you and thinking that you hold this high position, the manager's kind of the most important person in the place.
Sure.
And if you are being identified as a boss, that means you're a boss.
Yep.
So I had to boss up and become the boss that people thought I was.
Love it. How have these experiences helped shape the Tollisha you are today, do you think?
I think that my mom passing away was a passage for me to live my life. It really was the opportunity because, my mom, she wasn't healthy like most of my life. She's always had ailments and I've always felt responsible for her. So when she passed away, it was just the most beautiful thing. And I'm so grateful that God gave us the opportunity to have a conversation and talk. And she could tell me how proud she was and I could tell her how much I loved her. But that was the passage, right? That was the clearance to say, go ahead, my beautiful daughter, and go and do whatever your heart desires. And when my mom passed, it really just made me click and say, you know what? You deserve more. You deserve the best. You deserve to be the best. You deserve it. You've worked so hard and you've done so much for everybody else. It's your time. Do something for you. And that's what changed me. But I did have to go through that unbelievable journey, because I think every business owner, when we start, we have that, I know I can, but I don't believe it. So,
but that was the push you needed.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't the push yet. The push didn't happen until after I quit my final job. Right. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to die. Like I felt like life or death. Yeah. And I have to choose my life. So now,
for sure.
Now if I'm going to panic, I'm going to panic because I can't support myself. Not because I put my support in someone else's hands.
But your mom's passing was like, like you said, like a path or a permission or a little nudge.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely. I have to give credit to her. She's
well, she's your mama. Of course you do.
For all of this stuff that's going on right now. It's crazy.
How did your experiences, journey, struggles help shape or transform your businesses and help you to show up for your clients, do you think?
I believe that, so the foundation, or my culture clause, that's what people call it in business, but the foundational principles of my business is care. And that acronym is create relationships that last, articulate your expectations, respond to conflict, and engage with your customers or clients. So that is the thing that keeps me very, very focused and knowing exactly what I want to do with how I want to serve my people, right? Mm-hmm. I want to always make sure that I'm creating a lasting relationship with the people that come in contact with me. I want to always have space to articulate what I want from you, because it is a relationship, and relationships are two-sided. You can actually ask me what it is that you want from me, and I can ask you the same. Yeah. We are gonna get into conflicts because we're human and we don't have the same ideas, but we should be able to resolve them in a way that is satisfying to both parties.
I love that. I love that acronym, by the way. That's great. I've never heard that before. That's great.
Thank you. And then the engagement, it's one thing to sit across the table from someone, but it's one thing to sit across the table from someone and actually listen to what they have to say.
That's right. I think that's a big thing that we as human beings need to learn, is to listen. It's not all about us talking. And a friend of mine said this quote to me a while back. He says, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Yeah. Right. And people just want to be heard. People just want you to listen. So listen when people are talking. Pay attention to what they're saying.
I feel like one of the reasons why we are so long-winded today is because we feel like we're not being heard. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have to say a lot, or we feel like we have to say a lot.
Yes, I would agree.
I think the most valuable thing that I learned to do in my journey in business is to shut up and listen.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. I would have to agree with you wholeheartedly. Just listen, people. That's all you got to do.
Understanding that innately people like to talk about themselves. So especially in business, listening is a superpower. It really is, because if you let somebody talk, they will tell you all of their problems.
That's right.
And then you have opportunity to fill their gaps.
That's right. Solve the problem. Help them solve the problems. Exactly.
And isn't that the goal?
That's right. 100%, Tollisha.
So it's just, the magic is in the listening.
Yep. Can you talk to us or tell us a bit about the Official Glue and tell us what the business is all about?
Yes. So the business I am a networking strategist. That's what I do for my paid gig, right? Because I have a lot of gigs, but not all of them are paid. But the networking strategist, it came from my serving job, because I felt like in that job, nobody was networking. There was no building of that relationship community. Like, I had return guests because I worked at building a system to help to make them come back, and where everyone else was kind of complaining about, oh my God, I'm broke all the time. And I'm like, I don't understand why, because my people keep coming. They're keep coming through the door, and you're complaining about you don't have any money. And I think it's because you're not even trying to network with them. And networking is not sleazy. It's not salesy. It's literally listening and having that exchange of conversation. But there is an art form to how you can exchange that conversation so that your people want to come to you. And they always are going to rely on you. You become the resource in their life. So that's what I do as a network strategist, to help you build those foundational tools to help you become the resource in your clients' lives, so that they can always come back to you when they need more.
And that's what we want. We want our repeat business. We want our clients to come back.
Definitely. And so I help you get there.
There we go. Can you talk a bit more about your work as a network strategist? I mean, I'm going to assume that Clubhouse plays a big part in you being a network strategist. I mean, Clubhouse is an incredible app, and I know you're on there quite a bit, and you're a mainstay on there and a moderator. And so can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, here's the thing. So I think we got to backtrack just a bit.
Okay.
Because before all of this social media stuff,
yes.
Like, I was not a social media girl, right? I was just not on socials. I was a face-to-face business. I was a networking addict. So I literally went to every networking thing in my city, sometimes outside of my city, to just meet people and study. So I was a student first of the networking scene.
Okay.
And this is how I become an expert at it, because I was in it for so long. I've been to BNI groups and Toastmasters and all of them. You name it, I've probably been there. And so first thing was, I was a really hard studying student, taking notes, sitting in the back of the room, examining people's habits, their character. How are people actually getting to know people in a business setting? And the things that I've uncovered is what is the foundation of my business, because, passing business cards does not get you return clients.
No.
Pitching does not get you return clients. You have to be skilled if you want to be the person that is the most attractive person in the room. And so the latter half of my run was really practicing. After, first I was studying, and then I would go to networking events to practice. So I would see how many strategies I can use to become the most attractive person in the room.
Okay.
And because I became the most attractive person in the room, I got some business in my city. And one of the things I was able to do was, my last gig before COVID was to work under a real estate brokerage and train their agents on how to become better networkers.
Wow.
So that was my very last gig, but COVID kind of wiped that thing out. So I had to come up with a pivot strategy. And if you guys know anything about like what COVID did, you had to move fast. You could not wait. You needed to make a decision and say yes. And so I decided, like, one day I told my husband, I said, I'm going to start a live stream series. He's like, really? I said, yeah, I'm going to do it because I need to. So I think we were in COVID. Maybe COVID came around in the end of February, but really, really hit mid-March.
Yes.
And so April 1st, first live stream for Small Talk. And so I was, a student again, because the first thing you have to do is become a student. That's tip number one, be a student.
Yeah.
So through my studies, I found the holes in Facebook and for small business owners. So the hole in Facebook was, everybody was complaining about small business owners. Nobody supports them. They can't never get gigs. People are always complaining, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. So Small Talk was the answer to that problem. My idea was to talk to small business owners about being the small business in the big market and really go through the trials and triumphs of being a small business. And that just catapulted. Like, I think I have more followers than likes on Facebook, which is where I started.
Okay.
So that kind of, the strategy behind that situation was, people don't really know me outside of my local community. And now we can't go outside anymore. So what am I going to do? So I listened and I found a problem that I could solve. And I also solved my own problem because I needed people to see me and hear me. So that's small talk.
Yeah. Okay.
So then we get to, now we're in 2021 and Clubhouse becomes a thing. And I got invited from one of my girlfriends and she's like, you need to get on Clubhouse. This is you will shine here if you are in this space. This space was made for you. And I said, okay. She invited me right before Christmas. And I was like, yeah, I can't get into this right now because it's Christmas. So I waited until after the holiday, and my first week on it, I just studied it. I studied Clubhouse. I was in every kind of room.
So you're a fly on a wall, essentially.
Yeah, I was just listening. I didn't want to be raising my hand and talking to anybody. I just wanted to listen and see what was going on here, and that was it. So after the first week, day 2 of me being inside Clubhouse, I said, okay, I'm going to open a room. I opened my own room, and I plan to keep it open for 2 hours because I realized that's the sweet spot, 2 hours max, or the minimum is 2 hours. So I said, I'm going to keep it open for 2 hours. And then it didn't stay open for 2 hours, stayed open for an hour. It fizzled out. So I was like, okay, great. So a woman that I know, Alexa Carlin, she had another room going on. And I was like, okay, well, I'll pop into her room. And she said something and I raised my hand. I got on the stage, and then she was like, oh my God, I was only planning to keep this room open for 30 minutes. So I DM'd her and I said, well, I'm here, got an extra 30 minutes. So I'll keep it open for the additional 30 minutes because you're not going to get any traction if you don't stay for at least 2 hours.
Okay.
So that day we wound up leaving the room open for 4 hours.
Wow.
And so that turned into my standing gig on Clubhouse, which is I host a room 3 times a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it was literally listening and then filling that need and just being available that got me to where I am now, where, I've just because I did that, I'm doing podcast interviews like this one. I am, my numbers on Instagram, where I never even did anything on, is just growing. So Clubhouse has catapulted my business digitally. It's given me another identity on the digital front. But I'd say it has helped me get my message out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
To date, Tollisha, what would you say is your biggest high or your greatest win?
I think my biggest high to date is betting on me. Like, I'm always just so grateful that I decided to take the chance and bet on myself. Like, I wake up in the morning and I'm so happy, and I go to bed at night and I can sleep. Like, before I wasn't able to, I was waking up miserable, like, that just sliding my feet around the floor, just counting down the minutes before it's time to go to work.
I know that feeling.
And today I'm waking. I never wake up before 11 o'clock, Brad. I'm like not that girl. But for some reason, I'm up every day at like 7:30.
Wow,
that's a win.
Good.
So you said, what's the win? The win is I'm excited to get up.
Yeah.
And at 7:30 in the morning.
That's awesome.
And start working. And I feel like, no matter what happens, if this thing if it takes me to the epitome of what people believe to be successful, or I stay exactly where I am happy that I took the chance to just do it.
Taking the chance on you. I love it. What do you think is your unique skill set or superpower that's helped you become successful?
Oh, it's definitely my gift of gab.
Hands down, you didn't even need to think of that. That's it right
No,
there.
it's this mouth of mine. It's a superpower. It's the ability to just talk to any person. And I know that there's people out there that don't have that. And, it's a gift that when you're able to have a conversation with anyone, you have that special power
For
to
sure.
just connect people, honestly.
Yeah. Well, as a network strategy, you'd need to have that gift of gab and be able to talk to everyone and anyone. So well suited, well suited. So, speaking of success, how do you define success, Tollisha? What does that word mean to you?
Oh, success for me is just having, time freedom, the freedom to do what I want to do with my life. And being able to wake up in the morning and decide, you know what, I don't want to take a call today, so I don't have to. Or I want to go on a vacation with my husband, and I can. Or I just want to take my kids to the park, and I can. So in my eyes, it's just getting exactly what you want out of your business. And, for me, money's great, but I can't buy my time.
That's right.
And I want to be able to use my time doing things that really bring me joy.
Well, time is the most precious commodity, right?
Yeah. So, when I decided, people always say, what's your why? What's your why? My why is time freedom. I want to be able to do what I want to do with my time.
I love it. What would you say is one of the best pieces of advice you've ever received?
The best piece of advice I've ever received. I received such good advice. But I'm going to go back to the basics, the simple thing of just making your bed in the morning. Just do it. And as a kid, I hated that chore. I was like, why? It doesn't make any freaking sense. If you're just going to get back in there and mess it up, it doesn't make sense. But starting your day with an accomplishment really sets the tone for your day. And the smallest thing, like making your bed in the morning, makes you feel accomplished. You look at it, it's pressed, it's clean. You don't want to get back in. So it drives you to just keep out of it for a couple hours. Don't go back to it because you don't want to mess it up. And, that's probably the best advice that I've gotten. And it's helped me with my life and my business. It's that structural moment to say, you need to have a system. You need to have processes. You need to have something to go back to. When you get off track, you need that guide to say, okay, this is the next step. Okay, you messed that one up, but here's the next thing. And for me, it's, just the act of getting up and making your bed. It really says, it triggers your mind to go and brush your teeth. And because
the day started, right?
Yeah. Because you brush your teeth, you're going to wash your face. Because you wash your face, you're going to eat breakfast. So really, I never understood it. And now I get it 100%.
Yeah, I get it. It makes complete sense. What makes you feel inspired or like your best self?
Oh, I feel inspired when I get these notes of people who are just like, you inspired me. Like, I don't think there's any other moment that could be inspiring than someone said you inspired them. It's like, wow. And that's the other thing that Clubhouse has allowed to happen on a more regular basis for me. Like, people are DMing me constantly and telling me like, wow, your energy is so good and you're just attractive, like not beautiful as in looks because we can't see each other on Clubhouse,
right?
But beautiful, like your spirit is good, like you're just a good human.
Your energy.
And and that is inspirational because really my entire life, all I want to do is be a good person. That's it. Yeah. And so when people are telling you that you're living out your life dream of just being a good person, it's inspiring to keep being good.
For sure. What would you say is one of the most important things you've learned in your life? And what was your life like before learning that? And what was your life like after learning it?
I think the most important lesson I've learned is to not allow other people to control my emotion. Okay. And good or bad, I mean, the first half of my life, I allowed a lot of people to control my emotional state. I had no boundaries when it came to like doing things for other people, and then that feeling of like, oh, that dissatisfaction that came when they didn't return the favor, and then the anger that builds up because you not feeling appreciated, and that whole cycle of emotional distress. And when I learned that you can have control over your own emotional state, it was like the heavens opened up for me, because now I am just happy, or because I get to say who's in and who's out. And I get to say who I want and who I don't want. I am in total control of what happens with me. And when I realized that, it changed my life.
What does the word empowerment mean to you?
I think empowerment is an idea. So the idea of you can do something for someone else that makes them feel elevated. So it's not so much about me being empowered. I feel like that's the idea that needs to be transferred. It's like my duty to kind of elevate someone else and uplift them.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone will do the same for me. It's that,
reciprocal.
That reciprocal, or, that transfer of energy. So the empowerment thing for me is like, it's not for me. I feel like my kids watch Dragon Ball Z, and that ball, that the Super Saiyan ball,
Mm-hmm.
and that thing. So if I was to imagine what empowerment looks like, it looks like that ball that you build up all of this energy, and you just throw it, and the person that it hits is empowered now.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
Tollisha, to what extent do you think that we shape our own destiny, and how much is up to fate, do you think?
Boy, Brad, you got these questions.
I do. I like making my guests think.
So I believe that we are in control of our own destiny. I do think that fate is a good part of it, but I feel like the thing that makes the difference is the activity, like the activation of it. So destiny is a destination, fate is the journey traveled.
Yeah.
And until we decide to get in the car and go, none of it works.
Right.
So how much we get to decide where we want to go, and fate kind of pushes us on that journey.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
Okay. How would you like to be remembered?
I would love to be remembered as the woman who inspired and uplifted everyone that she came in contact with. I want to literally live out my business name and become the glue, and just create this community that is so connected and just ready to do stuff, because they're just they're just sticking together, and doing things and building. And I'm all about community, and I want to be remembered as a community builder, and the glue.
Community is key, for sure. I mean, when we're involved in a community, everybody wins, everybody benefits. You cannot lose with community. You just can't. It's impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible. And I believe that if more people believed in the power of just being in a community, and I have this little diagram in my mind about how the community kind of works, and it really stems from the simple idea of like your neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Your neighborhood always started with one house.
Yep.
There was that first house in the neighborhood, and that first family moved in, but then they built the house next door, and you got neighbors, and then that it just was now, but the support. So it's up to that first house to go to the neighbor's house and welcome them into the community.
Yes.
And now we transfer that, and that neighbor does it for the next neighbor.
That's right.
But then what happens when the kids come up? They have a cloak of protection, because the community is going to protect the kids.
Yes.
And make sure that they're okay, and allow them the space and the freedom to play safely. So And I think that idea has to stay with us.
Yes,
Because
I would agree.
that's business.
Yep, you're right. 100%.
You know? So community is everything.
It is, for sure. I agree with you 100%. Okay, we're going to jump into a little rapid fire section here. So next bunch of questions are going to be just 1, 2, 3, 4-word answers, okay?
Got it.
How would you describe yourself in one word?
Fierce.
I love it. What's the first thing you notice about a person?
Their teeth.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Money or fame?
Neither.
What's one thing you want but cannot buy with money?
Time.
If you came with a warning label, what would yours say?
She's chatty.
If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
Empathy.
If you had a theme song that played every time you walked into a room, what song would that be?
We Are the Champions.
If you were writing your autobiography, what would the title be?
I was thinking about this one. I don't know. It came to me like a light too. Sorry, This is not a rapid anymore.
That's okay. That's okay.
I lost the rapid, but how she glued it all together.
I love it. What's the first thing you think of when I say the word future?
My children.
If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change?
The youth.
Okay, that's the end of our rapid fire. Let's jump back into the regular. Tollisha, if you could sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with anyone in the world, alive or dead, who would it be and why?
I think I would want to talk to Oprah Winfrey.
Okay.
One of the reasons why is because everybody that I know has always said, you look like Oprah. So I'd want to tell her that my whole life people said I look like her. But then I'd also want to know, because I grew up watching her show, and I want to know her journey. I really just would love to hear it from her mouth in one sit down, like just the whole story. Because, you get the story, but it's broken up in pieces over the whole lifespan. Yeah. And I just want to know, like, how did you really feel when your mother and you didn't have this amazing relationship? How did you really feel when you started in Chicago and the people weren't receiving you? How did you really feel when you made it and you bought your first big conglomerate business? How did those things feel for you? Because I think sharing the feeling is kind of like the most impactful thing, because then we can identify with that feeling. Yeah. And then I can say, okay, when I feel like that, I know I'm there.
Yeah. I've had a couple of other people say Oprah as well, and their reasoning behind it is quite interesting. I thought they said they would like to sit down with Oprah because of the thousands and thousands of people that she's talked to and interviewed. They feel like through talking to her, they would gain knowledge about all of these people.
Now, I want to interview her.
Yeah.
I want to know her side of it.
There's my bucket list interview, Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
I got to make that happen. Is she on Clubhouse?
Probably. My God. I think everybody in the world is on Clubhouse.
I know.
And if I feel like there's people that I know that's literally purchased an iPhone to be on Clubhouse. It's crazy.
Oh, wow.
So I'm sure her people got her on there.
Tollisha, what's the most recent investment you've made in yourself?
The most recent investment I have made in myself was me and my husband went on a vacation. We haven't gone on a vacation in a couple of years. So we went to Chicago. It was the best money ever spent. But so there's two. Okay. And one of the other things that I've invested in myself is, it's going to sound so strange, but I have such a terrible relationship with money. And over the past year, I've really realized that money is actually a resource. It's not something that you should keep. It's something that you should give. And I have been giving so much money away to like just things that I'm wanting to support. And honestly, I've been making investments in myself by doing that. So, the personal side was me and my husband got to go and spend some time together. But for my business and my personal, me just investing in you, Brad, is an investment in me.
Right. Okay. I like it. Giving to give back. That's it.
Yeah.
What is your personal motto?
Sell your future, not your present.
I like that. If you could set up a billboard anywhere, where would you put it and what would it say?
I don't even know if I could say what it would say.
Yes, you could say whatever you swearing is okay, don't worry about it. It's
okay. I would put my billboard up, and my billboard would live in Manhattan in the city, on that digital billboard, and it would be my face, and it would say, "I made it,
bitch." I love it. Self-promotion. Awesome.
That's all it would say. They'd be like, what the hell is she talking about? Call me. You'll find out.
That's awesome. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
I would tell my younger self to so many things. I think the one evergreen one that I always go back to is like, just be a better student.
Mm-hmm.
Be a better student. And not to say that I didn't learn things, but it just took way too long. If I would have just been a better student, I would be so much further along. And now I really enjoy studying. Like, I enjoy studying topics that I'm interested in, but I had to learn how to study. And at like 25, I had to learn how to study, which is crazy because I just wasn't a good student. Be a better student. Okay.
Lastly, Tollisha, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, what would that last 30 seconds sound like?
Oh, it will just be amen.
Okay. Simple and to the point. All right.
That's it.
No messing around.
No, just amen.
Tollisha, thank you so very much for taking the time to be here today and share a bit about your story and your journey. It's incredibly inspiring, and I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate you and all the work you're doing. I think it's amazing, and you are just a true inspiration. So thank you for now becoming a member of the Empowerography community and for sharing your journey here on the podcast with us today.
Oh, you are so welcome. I think this has to be my most thoughtful interview thus far. So
I love that. That's good to hear. Well, thank you.
Making people's minds go deep. Like, I'm going to leave here and like write a book.
I've had people say they're going to leave once they're done the interview, they're going to go journal. So it's good that I'm provoking that kind of, I love to do that. That's what these are about. I don't want it to be mindless drivel that we just ask a question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. It's got to be deep. It's got to be a conversation. So thank you very much for those kind words. I truly appreciate that. That's very nice of you to say.
Well, I mean, it's so true. And whoever comes after me, just know, just be ready to go deep. You're going to get into the pits of your soul on this interview.
Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Tollisha Joseph. She is the owner and founder of The Official Glue. Thank you so very much once again, Tollisha, for taking that time to be here. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful rest of the day.
You too. My pleasure.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.